welcome back to my weekly yarns. Let us see what we're getting done this week. For those of you who are interested in birds of prey, buzzards, wild buzzards, keep watching till the very end. We've got some clips of the wild buzzards that's living up on the farm with Gemma. So hang on till the very end and see what's going on up there. So, Thursday morning, Deb says, do you fancy doing something different today? We'll just pop out for a coffee up at Eshet Airfield. It's an old Second World War airfield, just a couple of miles north of us, 3-4 miles north of us, on the side of the A1. It was a private airfield owned by two young fellas, but they've recently sort of cast it open to the public. They built their coffee shop there, so you can go and have a coffee, sit and watch the aeroplanes taking off and landing, watch them taxiing around bits and bobs. You can go up and learn to fly there. You can book some flying lessons. You can book these flights, you know, where the pilot takes you up for an hour, birthday flights, Christmas flights. So I took a little bit of video. Have a look at this, see what you think. So yes, Eshet Airfield. We just spent a couple of hours there having a look around. It was lovely. Nice little tea room cafe thing. If you're in the area, pop in. They'd love to see you. Bacon sandwiches. Spot on bacon sandwiches. So what else are we getting done? Well, the legs. What we talked about last week. Getting the legs done. Getting those all fabricated Tuesday. Cut all the steel. Did the cut and shut on it, got it all sorted out. I think Tuesday we got it welded up together, got it tacked together. Thursday we got it, because work on Wednesday. Thursday we got the welding complete on it. The 2 holes drilled in at the top, 16mm clearance holes for the 5/8 bolts. And we got them painted. So the casters, goddamn casters are some weight, aren't they? They're heavier than everything else. But have a look, see what you think of them. So I've drilled the 2 holes in, 16mm clearance for 5/8 for UNC, which is the bolts that go through at the side of the engine block. Had a splash of paint on them. I'm quite chuffed with the way they turned out, actually. So there. So we'll get our wheels put in. Those wheels are the casters are actually heavier than everything else put together. And then today I want
that bagged up and away at the farm. The brake there's the brake carriers is there. They're going to get a wire brush today. I think it's about 7 o'clock in the morning now. It's a bit too early to start. The neighbours would love us for it. So they're going to get a brush today, go back to the farm out the way for the time being. Pipework's going to go to the farm out the way for the time being. Been cleaning some tools up. These, just some of the tools that I made as an apprentice. And they were sitting in my box. I opened it the other day. Even though they were sprayed with plus gas, when I put them in there, the weather's getting to them a bit, so they've turned a bit rusty. So deep down here we've got the valve chest. When I'm at the farm today, we're going to pick up all of the internals, dump valve, needle valve, everything that came out of it, get that boxed up and away to Barclay Williams. There's no hurry for it, but they might as well get it sell away. Right, well, we've been doing lots of little bits this week. Monday was at work. When I came home, I put a couple of extra solar panels up on my roof. Got a bank of batteries down here that I run these lights off. These are 12-volt lights. I think I'll get an extra couple ordered for the bottom end of the garage because it's a bit black down there. And if we're going to start and put this tractor back together, we're going to need some light. So I think at the minute they're about these type of lights. I think they're about £9 each off eBay. So I've got 5 car batteries hooked up. One of them is a tractor battery. One of the big ones is the tractor battery. So I've got them hooked up. There's my little controller in the corner here. The gimbal went back. There's something wrong with that. Apparently what's supposed to happen, if you start up there like that and you bring the gimbal down, it's supposed to track like that. Yeah, what it was doing was that. It was losing. I don't know if it had the correct amount of rotation or whatever, but when you moved it down, it wouldn't stay flat. The gimbal just simply, I don't know if the gyros were gone or whatever in it. Walking along, right, I can walk along with this and keep it reasonably steady. With a gimbal, it's giving it this. £90. A lot of money for something that we really didn't need, so as it went back. Just watching the bank now. Let's watch the £90 come back in. We'll get some tractor bits with that. So there we are, all assembled, ready to go to work. All we've got to do now is start and build a tractor. Throw the brake shoe carriers, had a clean, had a wire brush. Come up alright, quite happy with them. There is 3 the same and 1 different. It's the same, if you know what I mean, it's the same but different. For a start, these have got the part numbers up here. This one's got its part number here. If you look at the thickness of this web here and the thickness of that, and that's how I noticed. You pick that one up and it is lighter than the other 3, but it's the same. When you put them together, it's the same. So at some point in its life, this has had a replace. See here as well, this has been machined and these are rough cast. So this has had a replacement shoe put in at some point in its life. I wonder if the original cracked, like the broken one that I've got. Anyway, then I'm going to rub with oil.
they're going up to the farm this afternoon for storage out the way. I want rid of everything that I don't need here to begin this reassembly. At some point next week, might even be this weekend, we're going to have a clear out down here. This is all going to get a clear out. We're going to work out how much space we've got. The front axle, I will film this for you, the front axle is going back into the tombstone. The tombstone's coming home and it's getting bolted onto our engine. That frame, the square frame that the engine's sitting on, therefore has to come off. So we're going to have to lift the engine up with a crane, whip that four-legged frame from underneath it, tie it up to the tombstone and put my new legs on. And then all we've got to do is find space for everything else in it. For that lot. But never mind, we'll carry on. Remember last weekend we went through the bag of nuts and bolts to start the reassembly on the tractor. We found out that we had 1 2 3/4 inch bolt missing, some washers missing, and we also realised that the studs for some reason go through the gearbox and the engine together, but they're not tapped in. You put a nut on either end of them, so why they're using studs and not nuts and bolts I don't know. But then we realised we didn't have enough nuts. So Friday comes and we get 20 spring washers, 20 flat washers, 20 UNC 7/16 nuts. And when I went up to the farm the other day to collect the internals for the hydraulics to put in the box there that's going to get sent away to Barclay Williams, also picked up 1 2 3/4 7/16 bolt out of that big bucket of bolts that Colin sent us down. So we should now have all of the bits and bobs that we need to start the reassembly job. Keep our fingers crossed. Monday could be the day, could be the day. The regular visitors to my channel will be fully aware of the saga of Betty the Blackbird. Well, for those new people here, just outside our back door I had a blackbird build a nest. So far this year she's raised 2 clutches, 2 of them still in the garden, causing havoc to my schedules because I can't get out done. But this one takes a biscuit, right? My daughter, as you know, lives on a farm. She's always got to do something better than me. So we're going up to the farm the other day. In fact, it was this morning. Going up to the farm this morning. You'll see on the video here. We're going up to the farm. She's got a pair of buzzards nesting on the farm. So we're driving up this morning along the little track up to her house, and we could hear the buzzards. You can hear their call is this funny little call they do. So stops the car, gets out, has a walk down the track to see these buzzards, right? They're up in the trees, and you'll see in a later section of the video how windy it is today, and it's been like that for 3-4 weeks now, maybe it's even longer. In fact, Corbridge, I think since Corbridge show, it's been windy, really windy. And my daughter used to keep Harris hawks. She used to fly them, and I didn't realise this at the time, but the bigger the bird, the bigger the wings, obviously, the more problems they have when they're flying in high winds.
That's where they are in there. They're hiding there. You can See the little pathway through?
Mm-hmm. There, I can hear them.
I can hear them.
I can hear the buzzards. There. Listen. Listen, there's the chicks. Stop. They're up in that tree there, just behind me. We have a walk down the track. Out of the trees on the left comes one of the chicks, and it does a little circuit. You'll see we're going to walk down the track here. The bird comes out of the tree on the end. There you go. This is one of the chicks. There are 3 chicks. They've managed to rear successfully 3 chicks on the farm. The chicks do this a lot on the farm. They come down onto this road, and I don't know if it's because it's between the hedges, it's away from the wind, it's got the sunshine, the road heats up, and they lie flat on the road. They even spread their wings out as though you look at them and you think they're dead. One of them the other day was so fast asleep, my wife drove right up beside it before it woke up. There it is. Look, there's one of them there in the distance. He's sitting on the road. Now you can drive right up to these things. And what we're actually doing is there's 1 or 2 rabbits volunteering their lives for these birds. In other words, we're shooting the rabbits, head shooting them, taking the heads off, putting the carcasses down for the birds to eat, because we need to make sure these ones survive. But you can see it's a juvenile by its head. They're lovely birds, aren't they? Absolutely beautiful birds. So he's not carrying a lot of weight. But as I say, I get the odd rabbit every couple of days. The magpies are pinching its food. Easy, easy.
Do you want to drive back?
Yeah, there's his pal there. So we're come to leave the farm tonight. And we're driving back down the track. Yes, the two of them sitting on the road. One of them scoots away up into the trees there, out the way. There's his pal left
Lovely,
on the
aren't
floor.
You're thinking that's that white car again.
Yeah, he's off.
Now, again, a lot of the time these will just run off into the undergrowth. And you tend to think they're injured. And they're not. They're not injured at all. They're fit, healthy birds.
Just thinking about one of
They're
them.
just,
Aye, he is.
look how close you can get.
That's that. Maybe that. What's left of that rabbit.
Mm.
Go and drive forward slowly.
And away he goes. Right, well that's it for this week then. Hope you enjoyed those the clips of the buzzards and see where we're at with our bits of work. Hopefully Monday morning we'll crack on and we'll get a start putting this tractor back together. We'll see what happens, will we? Now remember, don't overthink it, it's just nuts and bolts.